As promised, here's the protein video that I know you've requested and you really want to know more about. So we know now how much protein we should be getting for our body weight or our ideal body weight. This also very much depends on how active you are, which we've all covered now nicely. So today I'm going to share with you protein powders. I'm also going to share some on-the-go snacks because that's the key thing that a lot of us are falling short of is we know we have to get protein, and when we're at home we can cook our own protein and we can control what we eat, but when we're out and about it's hard, right? So I'm going to share all the little hacks and tips I know. This will be for vegans, for meat eaters, fish eaters, non-dairy, lactose-free, gluten-free. I will give you some examples of some snacks that will suit you to get your protein count in. So for starters, I get a lot of questions about what protein powder should I use. Honestly, the best thing you can do is go to this website called labor.com. It's highlighted there for you. It says labdoor.com, and you put in your protein amount and it will tell you like it lists them from like A grade being, better or whatever, and then down to like Z grade. The key with anything though is read the ingredients, which we're going to go into in a minute, but I stress that for starters, I am not a dietitian, and this is a massive disclaimer that I'm sharing my knowledge with you from what has worked for me and worked for my clients. I am not a professional dietitian, and if you need advice from a professional dietitian, please go and seek that elsewhere. Take my information like spare ribs, keep the good bits and chuck the rest. It's completely what suits and resonates with you. I've also got to say that for me, like protein powders and supplements are all the last thing I will go to. The main source of protein, whether I'm having more of a fiber-rich day or if I'm cutting my meat out for the week or fish, and or whether you are a vegan or whether you are a meat eater, is whole foods. You can easily get enough good protein and amino acids from whole foods than protein powders. Okay, they are an additional way of getting your protein in alongside your whole foods. That's a massive disclaimer from me. So this is the experience I've had with protein powders, and these are the ones that I've personally used. So at the top there's called Will Powders. Now, Will Powders is for me like probably the most clean I've come about. There's so many different ones at the market, and the best thing to do is research, but they have different flavors and they're a little bit lower compared to others by like 5-6 grams of protein, completely vegan or friendly. However, they're a little bit costly, but it's your health, so you're paying for that, right? The other one is Free Soul, which is again a vegan blend. And again, you get about 20 grams of protein per serving. Whey protein gold standard. This is about 24 grams per serving. That's obviously not for your vegans. And Orgain, which is organic protein, and they do a plant-based protein as well, which is about 28 grams of protein. So there is a variety. Do some research, but these are the ones I personally used and I like as well. I've actually taken this from Will Powder, so have a little look. And it's quite interesting because if you're like, what ingredients do I need to look at? This is a really good breakdown. Now, bear in mind, I am not an ambassador for Will Powders. However, this is taken from their website and it will be biased towards them because they're obviously selling your product. But this is the kind of things to look for on an ingredients list. It's things like pesticides and GMO, keto friendly, again, this depends on your lifestyle. If you're struggling with things like bloating or flatulence, if you want to look at if it's got artificial sweeteners in it, additives, preservatives, all these things, really do have a look at these names. Again, some of these names that you can see there, it's like xanoestrogens, which are hormone disruptors. Again, look at the back of the ingredients and it has to resonate with you. There's other things in other protein powders which they might have higher percentage per gram, but they might have things like blood sugar stabilizers in them. They might just have all of these hidden ingredients that may make them be higher in protein, but actually negative for your hormones. So my advice is take responsibility and look at the back. If you need any help, screenshot the ingredients list and you can send them to me as well. So here, as I promised, here are some high protein on the go snacks. Now, the first one is an absolute game changer for my time poor women who are running around like headless chickens and they love a coffee. I love a coffee. So it's take coffee, add a scoop of collagen, MCT oil, and some protein powder. Now you're going to get average of 20 to 30 grams per drink. There's no milk in there, by the way. So this would suit any form of diet, like in terms of your vegan or your gluten freeze or your dairy freeze, your lactose freeze, because you're not putting the milk in. The protein powder obviously would need to be suited to your dietary requirements, but that is a massive game changer over there. Have a look again, do your own research. There's so many products out there, and I'm not going to stand here and tell you which ones to go for that have like a combined protein powder and collagen in them together. On the go snack as well is like a lentil crackers. Now, Kalo do a good one that has no hidden emulsifiers or hidden oils in them. And if you have an average of like three of those, you're getting 5.5 grams of protein for a snack. Again, so easy to go on when you're traveling. Now, organic or free range eggs, two of those boiled eggs is 13 grams of protein. Edamame beans for those that are vegan. These are an absolute game changer. 100 grams, you're going to get 11 grams of protein. Like you'll be quite full after eating 100 grams of those. So there you go. Cottage cheese, obviously not for those that are dairy and lactose free, but 100 grams of cottage cheese on the go with some egg in it, you're going to get 21 grams of protein there. See how quick my math was. Almonds, really good organic almonds. Be careful where they're sourced. And the thing about any form of nut, they are very good for your metabolic health. However, they are very high in calories. So if you're watching your weight and you're worried about too many calories, have a really handful of them. They are good in protein, but have a limit. And for those of you that are vegan, chickpeas, absolute life changer. 5 tablespoons, average about 12 grams of protein. These, ladies, you can do on the go the night before. There is no excuses here. You can easily put this together and it won't take you long. And most of these things are available at the shop, at like a supermarket. I would say collagen, MCT oil, stuff like that is usually online. The key is preparation. Now, I sound like a broken record, but if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And it is that simple. Like, we cannot rely on waking up in the morning and magically relying on motivation because stress and rubbish happens to us every single day. That is life. And the best thing we can do for our body and our metabolic health, our hormonal health, is merely plan the day before. Now, if you're super organized, do 3 days before, batch cook. It's an absolute, not only save you so much time, but you won't have these restrictive eating habits and guilt and shame and hit the button where you go all or nothing because you've got sweets in the house. Just prepare, prepare, prepare. I get caught out on this all the time. When I'm not planned, I can easily revert back to what's easy. And the supermarket, the food on the go in terms of like petrol stations, it's going to be full of processed stuff. You know that. So the best thing you can do is prepare the day before. My top take-home message from this is plan tomorrow today with your food and let the rest follow. Like apply that strategy every single time and your hormonal health will thank you. You will feel so much better in the long run. Thank you so much for listening. And if you do have any questions, you know where I am, drop me a message.